Audio Echo Digital.
Before I start this podcast, I would like to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And personally, I would like to thank my mother, who has been an important person, not only in my personal life, but my professional life as a filmmaker. Mom, I thank you for all that you've done to sacrifice everything for the advancement and the growth of your children. I know my sister and I, we appreciate you. We love you. I dedicate this episode to you because this episode, you actually were able to help me find my mentor through one of your closest friends. With that being said, let's get on with the show.
With over 10 years of video experience, he has met and worked with a variety of talented individuals, from actors, actresses, directors, producers, writers, content creators, musicians, and filmmakers. From his humble beginnings as a young volunteer at his local church to becoming an award-winning filmmaker, you get to hear stories of his long journey to success. Welcome to the One More Chaunce podcast, hosted by filmmaker Chauncey Jackson.
It's around fall, winter of 2010, and I've been editing movie music videos just to continue to learn how to edit. I believe I create about 5 to 6, maybe 7 of these videos because I just took the time to learn how to create stories. Even though I was learning how to edit, I was at a standstill. Yes, I was in college learning about film history. I was learning how to write poems, but I didn't know anybody in the film industry, nor did I know anybody even somewhat closely associated with the film industry. However, I still wanted to learn as much as I could. Being on a film set was the next step for me. I wanted to get as much experience as I could as possible because I was still young. I believe I was 24, 25 at the time. So thankfully, I started this journey early. One evening, my mom's friend, Karen, that was her name. You can laugh, it's okay. And she was black, by the way. She came over to the house and just wanted to check up on my mother. I was up in my room just watching TV as usual, and I went downstairs to get something to eat. And I believe it was my first time ever meeting Karen. My mom and Karen were friends for a while, so I just wanted to introduce myself and, not be rude. And we were making small talk, and I was telling her that I'm studying film at Georgia Perimeter College, and I'm currently learning how to edit myself online. I asked her just randomly, do you know anybody that's kind of in the industry so I can learn? Because I only had 1 year left in college, so I at least wanted to at least get some set experience. Believe it or not, she knew somebody. I said, really? You know somebody? She said, yeah. His name is Van. She gave me his number, and she told me, text him and let him know that I gave you his number so that he can prepare himself to take some time to talk to you. I told Karen, thank you. I didn't know who Van was, but for her to know somebody just by meeting her for the first time, was kind of unbelievable. So I text Van probably a few days later after I got his number, and I asked him if he's free to talk during the week or the weekend. We talked probably in that same week. I remember our first conversation. I introduced myself, tell him what I was doing, what my goal was as a aspiring filmmaker or videographer. Well, at the time I was an editor. And he said, okay, what do you have to show me? And I told Van that unfortunately I really don't have any visual footage to show you because I didn't have a camera at the time. But I did tell him that I was editing videos via uTorrent. And he paused for a minute and he's like, what are you doing? I said, well, what I'm doing is I'm just downloading movies and just creating a highlight video of them. He said, okay, how many videos do you have to send me? I was like, well, I have about 5 to 7 maybe, but I can send you just 3 of my best ones. He said, okay, no problem. Send them to me so I can watch them. I sent him the videos, and maybe about 2 or 3 days later, we had another phone call. And I can never forget his response. He said, I see what you're doing, and the videos are pretty good. However, you're re-editing edited work already. I never forget that because it was so simply put, but I understood where he was coming from. After that, he said, what I want you to do is when you get some money, just go out and buy a camera and just shoot. He also said that, yeah, you're learning how to edit, which is good, but the only way for you to be good at your own work is to shoot your own work. During that conversation, I was just listening to his every word because I was getting a free course on videography / filmmaking. I didn't even know who this guy was, but he was giving me gems on top of gems for free. Information that even my college professors didn't really give me. And I don't fault them for that, but to have someone who is, I think Van was maybe 10 years older than me. So he was experienced, but from what he learned, he was given a young, aspiring filmmaker like myself free information that I will never forget. Before the phone conversation ended, he told me that he was currently working on getting funding for his screenplay that he wrote. And he told me, he said, Chauncey, I just want you to keep in touch with me because I'm still working on this project that I'm trying to get produced and funded. So just keep in touch. I said, okay, Van, I will lock your number in. And after that, I went back to editing because I just appreciated another person taking the time to give me information that some people could have charged me for. I didn't know what the future held for the potential relationship between Van and I, but just thinking about during that time, of the conversations that Van and I had, I believe deep down that I found my mentor.
Thank you for listening to the One More Chaunce podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts.